Alright, let me turn this off. I was asked by Jew Law. Jew Law has asked, are we the Antichrist? Now, respectively, that's a pretty fair question. Are we the Antichrist because we preach against this so-called thing called Christ? Well, no. That's the short answer. The simple answer is their prophecy tells you that this one person will rule from a seat. So, many Israelites preaching against Christ can't sit on this single throne at the same time. So, there's that kind of says, no, there's no way that we would be the Antichrist. You know, there's not. But you've got to understand that's just a short answer. But Ptolemy studied us when he enslaved us. And this is where Serapis Christus is created. This is where that's a term you can look up. This is where soteriology was conceived, the study of salvation. Okay, Lucifer doesn't come down to Ptolemy and say, hey, if you want to do this, you know, he had to study us. And to study us, he had to take our writings. And by taking our writings, he learned about the future. If we would fail, if we would worship another god, if we would be led astray, then the world would go into corruption, and that there would be a Hebrew Messiah. Now, what those writings say after that is truthfully any man's guess. Because here's the problem. The Old Testament's very consistent. It says one thing over and over again. There is but one true God, and to worship him. And this is the whole point of the New Testament, to take you away from the Old. You then have two choices. You don't have one choice anymore. You then have two choices. You put them inside of one book, and then you tell people you can worship one or the other. Then you have confusion inside of one book, making one book poisonous. This Messiah that's written about, he is not the savior of the people. The original God, the creator, is the savior of the people. The study of salvation, soteriology, points to the tool being worshipped, not the entity using the tool. We've been taken away from the Creator, and the focus is on the son of Odin, it's kind of funny. You know, I was talking to my wife, and we were in a conversation about the video I just did. And you see the news reports, how the news shows you when black people go to protest, no deaths, no fights, they're considered thugs. They're called all these names on TV, broadcast to the whole fucking nation. White kids and white men are toppling cars and starting fires. The black people are fighting for their rights, and they're considered evil. The white people are rioting because their sports team won. So me and my wife got into this long conversation, and you know, she made me realize something. White males seem to become destructive when it comes to victory. See, you're the slave. It's a bunch of you on the basketball court. You can be aggressive, yet shoot the ball smoothly to go through the net. They can't do that so good. Okay, even their amazing white men that can play these sports, there is no grace to their style. So it's easier for them to enjoy from the seats, or to bet, or to gamble. And it seems like when their racehorse comes in, they like to tear up their own cities. And I find it funny, because they show you this all the time, and nobody ever really depicts it as, look at how these people destroy things when they win. Look how it's best not to compete with them, because if they lose, they'll rewrite the laws, and if they win, they'll just destroy a bunch of shit. Look at the movie Thor, right? So I then carried this conversation from with my wife onto Brother St. Mike. And look at the movie Thor. So Thor has a cup of coffee, and he drinks it, and he says, "Oh, what is this? I love this. It's coffee. Oh, it's great. Smash. I'll have another." So he has enjoyed coffee, so he's excited, so he smashes the cup. This is the same thing you see at Yiddish, Greek, and fake Hebrew ceremonies. You get married, they smash a glass, or put a glass in a napkin and stomp on it. Destruction. They take a plate, throw it in a fireplace, or a glass, throw it in a fireplace. Destroy. It's the same thing. Where is this in these dark-skinned cultures? Where is the destruction when something glorious happens? See, this Bible that they believe in so much, even in the place where they say they love to be. They say they love to be. Even in Revelations it says, them that says they're Jews and are not. Now you go and all these Christians call the same people that look like them Jews. They just look a little different. No different than the average European does from the German, or from the Swiss, or from the Italian. A little different from the Italian. We're entering into a new fiscal year. The same lies will be carried over. The same destruction is on its way. You have a lot to think about. You have to decide what's in your heart. Is Deuteronomy 32 in your heart? Or is the new covenant in Jeremiah in your heart? Stay and be a part of what happens next. Or to go and be a part of what happens next. I cannot stick a remote control up your ass and decide for you. I cannot plug your game controller in your fucking throat and decide for you. Neglect is not a decision. To decide to stay and be a part of the destruction, as Deuteronomy 32 says, then you need to be prepared, or you're just going to get trampled. People who are not prepared get trampled. And if you feel that is in your heart to be a part of that new covenant, then you need to be prepared to leave. Either way, not one dark-skinned person that watches these videos should be unprepared for what happens next. Not one of you. You sit here and you watch this like it's some fucking TV show. You claim you're up to date with reading the Bible and where prophecy leads. You know there's a war coming on two different fronts. One here and one across that border. There is no safe place. You think people are joking when they say you better be prayed up? You better be focused on your belief system. I tell you exactly what books I get what I call the truth out of. I go to the same Strong's Concordance for the name of the Creator that each of these Bible camps use. Your Christian values put us all into Christian slavery. And Christians, they constantly mock you, and they ignore that their masters program you with deceit. They care not that you're the Israelites. They've enslaved you. They've known from the start. They don't respect your title because they don't respect your Creator. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Your goal is not to preach to them. Your goal is to awaken your people to their ancient titles, so that they are as prepared as you are. The things that happen next, we've all been waiting for. We see mass destruction because storms are being pushed into the center of the United States. It's destroying homes. The only place these people will have left is FEMA. One step leads into the next step. Now, prepare yourselves. The end is coming. But, you've got to understand that's just a short answer. But Ptolemy studied us when he enslaved us. Many Israelites preaching against Christ can't sit on this single throne at the same time. So there's that kind of says, no, there's no way that we would be the Antichrist. There's not. Alright, let me turn this off. I was asked by Jew Law. Jew Law has asked, are we the Antichrist? Now, respectively, that's a pretty fair question. Are we the Antichrist because we preach against this so-called thing called Christ? Well, no. That's the short answer. The simple answer is their prophecy tells you that this one person will rule from a seat. So